I'm going to ask you, Brendon, the phrase doing the rounds in the press box is Bazball. Do you like Bazball, or does it annoy you?
I don't even know what Bazball is. I have no idea.
Well, Mr. McCullum, here's the latest definition according to the Collins Dictionary. Bazball, a style of test cricket in which the batting side attempts to gain the initiative by playing in a highly aggressive manner. But okay, we get it. That doesn't quite capture the entire essence of Bazball and why it has transcended cricket and become a term that's been used to describe economic policies, inspire the England football team, and have its own Wikipedia page. So what is Bazball? Let's go back to the start. In the spring of 2022, England Test cricket was at rock bottom. They had won just one of their last 17 tests. They'd been hammered in India, beaten at home, thrashed in the Ashes, and then slumped lifelessly to a loss in the West Indies. It was time for change, and that change was named Baz McCullum. He became England's head coach, Ben Stokes became captain, and together the pair concocted a plan to, in Stuart Broad's words, run into the danger rather than flee from it.
Assemble.
Our own UK editor, Andrew Miller, who had dug deep into the vast well of his vocabulary to describe England's failures, now had a new word on his mind. See, Miller had watched closely when McCullum captained New Zealand's test side and had been struck by their commitment to all-out attack, and anticipating him bringing a similar style to England, he coined the term Bazball.
As I say, Bazball with New Zealand in mind at that occasion, but actually it's going to be Bazball with England in mind.
Right, so that's the origin story. But what does Bazball actually mean? This is how Ben Stokes described it during his first series in charge.
Said this week, let's try and think like we're in the entertainment business rather than the sporting business, because I feel like we've managed to do something over the last 2 weeks. There's a reason why we had 20,000 people there at Trent Bridge on day 5, because they want to come and watch this new brand of cricket that we're playing. So I set a challenge to the team to come out and be even more fearless, more positive, more aggressive than we were last week.
Those comments came, by the way, after England had chased down 299 in just 50 overs on the last day of a test in Trent Bridge, with Jonny Bairstow scoring 136 of 92. And Stokes wanted his team to be more fearless, more aggressive. Surely this was hyperbole. Yet there were England in the next test, needing 113 to win on the last afternoon with rain about, and they took just 15 overs to knock the runs off. The Bazball era had begun. Was it sustainable? Here's a look at some numbers. England's run rate in the 5 years before McCullum and Stokes was 3.15. Then this happened to it. 4.82. That's a whole 1.2 more runs per over they are scoring than any other test team in the Bazball era. And they go hard whatever the situation of the match. Batting first, here are some of their first day scores. 325 for 9 in 58.2 overs against New Zealand in Mount Maunganui. 393 for 8 in 78 overs against Australia at Edgbaston. And 506, that's right, 506 for 4 against Pakistan on the first day in Rawalpindi. If they're chasing, England are always going for the win, without so much as a fleeting thought about a draw. In the Stokes-McCullum era, they've chased 250 plus in the 4th innings 5 times. Their run rate across those 5 innings, 5.03. Now teams have had aggressive batters before. The difference with this England side is that every single batter has bought into the new ideas. In a way, it matters less that Harry Brook is striking at 91.76 in Test cricket and Jonny Bairstow is striking at 89.31 in the Bazball era, and more that Joe Root, who had a strike rate of 54.65 pre-Bazball and whose every shot felt worthy of a line drawing in fine charcoal by an Italian classicist, is now striking at 75.63. And he's playing ramp shots and uppercuts and reverse scoops for 6, lots of them, enough for his own YouTube compilation. But Bazball isn't just defined by aggressive batting. Perhaps the most controversial part of England's new style is their propensity to declare their innings early, real early. At the start of last year, they played a day-night test in Mount Maunganui and declared after just 58.2 overs on day 1, the second fastest recorded first-day declaration in Test history. Stokes' next aggressive declaration was even more of a head spinner, because it came in the Ashes. Now, by the middle of 2023, Bazball had helped England win at home against New Zealand and South Africa, though Dean Elgar didn't really see it that way.
So I didn't see that B word at all coming through.
And it had brought a whitewash away in Pakistan and an exciting 1-1 draw in New Zealand. But there was skepticism about whether England could do the same thing to Australia. The same Australia who had beaten them 4-0 in the previous Ashes, the World Test champions. Australia had Stark, Cummins, Hazelwood. Could England Bazball it against them? The pundits weren't believers.
When you're up against a really good bowling attack like Australia, I'm not sure that method of play is going to be successful. So
England's response? The very first ball of the Ashes, Zach Crawley steps out to Pat Cummins and thumps him through cover. Towards the end of the day, England are 393 for 8. Joe Root still out in the middle on 118. And Ben Stokes declares with 20 or so minutes still left in the day. Oh boy, this better pay off. It didn't. Australia won by just 2 wickets on a thrilling final day. The 20 or 30 extra runs England could have got in the first innings may have won them the match. But did Stokes regret his decision?
I could also turn it around and say if we didn't declare, would we have got that excitement that we did at the end of day 5? I'm not 100% sure, but I'm not going to be looking back on this game as, what ifs,
And that kind of sums up Bazball. No what ifs, no second guessing, just make attacking decisions in the hope that at the very least you'll get an entertaining match. And boy was the Ashes entertaining. England went 0-2 down only to come back and draw the series 2-2. And they were also in a dominant position at Old Trafford before rain hit, forcing a draw. The Ashes result made it 13 wins, 4 losses and just 1 draw since the McCullum-Stokes takeover. And though the Aussies weren't entertaining claims of a moral victory for England in the Ashes, it was clear that England were going to play their fearless, no-regrets cricket, whatever the opposition, whatever the conditions.
Any lingering regrets over that first game in particular at Edgbaston, which you could have easily turned around?
No.
But now England come to the turning, biting tracks of India, where they've lost 1-3 and 0-4 on their last 2 tours. Can Bazball work against Ashwin, Jadeja and Akshar Patel? This is what Ben Stokes had to say.
Remember when we beat New Zealand 3-0, we couldn't do it against South Africa, couldn't do it against Pakistan, couldn't do it against Australia. So who knows if we can do it against India.